Hey guys, today we're going to have a look at the kind of $15 unbranded camp light and fan from Gearbest. I decided to review this because I just think I don't do enough kind of mundane stuff. And this is something that's pretty useful for the kind of people who are doing the car camping and things like that, who want that option, you know, who aren't going to be backpacking or bushcrafting, just those people enjoying, you know, that weekend with the family kind of thing. And there's a lot of these on the market, and this one here looked to be kind of a nicer one on Gearbest, so I wanted to take a look at it and see if it was worth the money. So like I said, it was about 15 bucks. I believe it's a no brander. There's no name on it. I see it's got LEDs on the bottom, a fan in there, and a little kind of you know, you can set this up in different configurations. If you want to use it just as a pure fan, you can do that. You can obviously hang it, and then leave it. Yes, the handle also goes down, so you could also put that straight up. Do all kinds of weird, goofy things with this. All right, so let's turn this thing on. I have to say, this thing is definitely pretty tough. It uses oh, and it's got this hook in the handle as well for hanging. This thing is definitely pretty tough. My son carried this around the house for like 3 days because he just thought it was the coolest thing. He dropped this thing like 15 times. If I kid you not, 15 times at least. The only problem we had was one of the power switches popped off. I don't know when it popped off, so it's somewhere in the house. It could be under a fridge. It could be, you know, somewhere. I'm sure it'll turn up at some point. But these power caps can go flying off if you do drop this thing a dozen or so times. So, good to note. Doesn't affect it, still works just fine. I'll shut the light off for a second so you can see. The LEDs are relatively bright. I mean, they're not overwhelming. There's 18 in there. Enough to light up a camp, enough to light up a tent, you know, that kind of thing. Definitely enough, you know, pretend you're a UFO, all that kind of jazz. So, not too shabby there. Probably something that can be hacked if you're into that kind of stuff. And then turn that light back on. And then you also have your fan, which has a low and a high setting. High setting's okay. You know, you can feel it from 3-4 feet away. Very equivalent to like what you would get out of a desk fan. Nothing amazing, but nothing, you know, crummy either. I mean, this thing is pretty tough. It's pretty big, pretty heavy, guys. That is one thing you do have to note right off the bat. This thing is very heavy. It takes two D batteries. You just open it via the top, and there is a compartment in here where not only can you hide your weed, but you can hide your D batteries. So it takes 2 D batteries. The run times on this are said to be about 37 hours. I'm not sure if that means high or not. One little thing I do know, it is kind of tough to get the cap back on. If you're trying to do that in the dark, that would actually be very difficult because you have to line up a couple black tabs on black background, and that can be, you know, right now I'm under chop lighting, of course, so it makes it kind of easy, but when you're kind of not under that situation, it can be definitely a little tricky. So like I said, this thing's interesting. You know, it works. You know, it's very configurable, which I kind of like. You can do a lot with it. We are going on vacation in the next couple of weeks, and this is something we're going to bring with us because it's just going to make really good kind of campfire lighting. You know, something to hang out by the campfire and use, which I think would be kind of nice for us because, you know, we got a couple of kids, and you know, having just a little something they can have just to see their way around when they're going to the bathroom and stuff like that. So we intend to do a lot of that kind of campfire camping, and I thought this would be a nice little addition, something the kids can carry around, hang up, you know, outside, carry around. If it gets broken, it gets broken. I mean, I don't think so, guys. With how much my son has dropped this thing, I just cannot believe it. This thing just boom, because it weighs a couple of pounds. And he dropped it on the deck, you know, a nice wood deck. He dropped it on our linoleum. He's dropped it so many different times, and it hasn't broken, which just astounds me. Because every time it would, he'd drop it, I'd go, oh, that's it. And it just keeps on going. So yeah, like I said, guys, a little bit of a routine, mundane, as opposed to the normal stuff. There is a lot of this kind of stuff on Gearbest. They do have a lot of inexpensive camp lanterns and stuff like that. And I'm going to start showing them, I think, a little bit more often because they are the more affordable items that you guys appreciate.